Hi everyone, and welcome to part 2 of my book haul, this time for the adult books. Again, they are completely random, so I'm just going to whiz through them. First up, I've got these Assassin's Creed books, same queue in TK Maxx, where I picked random stuff up. These are £6, and there are 3 books. So there's a game of Assassin's Creed, and these are some of the books that go with it. I've heard really good things about these. I haven't read any of these. But when I said I'd pick them up, my sister rushed straight out to TK Maxx to get her own set. She said that these books are really, really good. I've had to look online, and normally you can only really buy these separately, and they're about £6 each. So to get 3 for £6 was a really, really good value. I've had a look, and the cheapest place that's selling them currently are the Works, and they're selling them for £8. So it's not too much dearer, but apparently these are meant to be really, really good. From the Book People, I picked up this set. I heard The Kingmaker's Daughter is really, really good. And for all 6 of these books, £6. £6 I paid. And at the moment on the Book People, this box set is a £5. How good value is that when you think you're paying less than £1 for a book that thick? I'm hoping that that's, as I say, I've heard really good things about her. So I'm hoping that that doesn't bode badly for her, that they're selling them off so cheap. But I'm looking forward to reading these actually. So, as I say, Book People for £5. Then I picked up this book. This was a bit of a random pick. It was advertised in Waterstones while I was in there as one of their sort of books of the month. It's called The Dust That Falls From Dreams. So it says it's about the golden years before the outbreak of World War One. There's 4 girls growing up in Kent, so it's quite local to me. And then there's all these boys sort of nearby. Then the boys end up scattered along the Western Front. She's confused by her love between 2 of them. Blah, blah, blah. So it just sounded really, really good. And I think I must have just paid full price for this at the time, which is £8.99. I've had to look online, and the cheapest place I found this for is on the Book People, £7.19. So a little bit cheaper than what I paid. Haven't read this yet though, so if you want a review, I'm more than happy to do one. Then I picked up some really random books in W.H. Smith's. This was ages ago, and I don't really know what possessed me to pick some of them up, but I think I got drawn in by the pictures. So there's Marley Me, Life and Love with the World's Worst Dog. Love the film. It's incredibly upsetting, but I absolutely love it. I have my own Labrador. He's black, but I do have a lab, and they are just the loveliest dogs. They really are. This cost me £3, as you can see. The cheapest place I found is the Book People at £5.89. It's quite expensive, and I love the fact that in this you actually get some real pictures of Marley through, which is really lovely. So pick that one up. And then I picked these 3 up in W.H. Smith's, which I haven't read any of them, hadn't heard of any of them. They were just cheap. So I picked this one up, Poor Tracks in the Moonlight, the story of Toby Jug, a very fine cat. And I've looked online, and the cheapest this is £7.19. So I got a really good value for that. The heartwarming story of one man and his cat. Then I picked up this one, The Dog Who Loved, Lenore the Puppy Who Rescued Me, which again it was £3, but this one, the cheapest I found this for, is £9.89. So again, I got a really, really good value on this book. So these are from Smith's. I'm not sure, I assume Smith's will still have them on sale if you want to have a look at your local store. And this one, The Puppy That Came for Christmas, was on sale for £1, and I just couldn't resist look at his little face. For £1 I had to pick this book up, and I'm so pleased that I did, because again the cheapest I can find this is £7.89. So again, I've got myself a really, really good value, a really good bargain on that. And while I was in Smith's, they gave me this little chapter sample, which is really fun, of Turtles All the Way Down by John Green, who is the author of The Fault in Our Stars. I haven't read The Fault in Our Stars, and so this is his next book. So it's got 10 things you need to know about the book, and then it's got the first chapter. I do have an extra one of those if anyone was pretty interested in having that. Then the next lot of books are all by the same author, and he is my favourite author at the moment. There's just something really, really mature and, I don't know how to explain it, gripping about the way that he's been writing his novels. So my friend lent me a book, and it was this one, Emperor, the Gates of Rome, and it's about the early life of Julius Caesar. and he has bent the truth. There are facts, like, just as an example, there's somebody who he knows from childhood in the book who he doesn't actually know in the real history of Julius Caesar. Their timelines are slightly different. So he's taken true facts and then he's twisted them to make a more compelling story. But I loved it. I really did. So I rushed out and I bought my own copy. This is mine. I've got his to give back. And I paid full price for this because I picked it up in Waterstones at $8.99. Amazon, in fact, I'll tell you the prices now in a second. But I picked this one up in Waterstones for $8.99. And while I was there, I picked up the second one, which I'm currently reading at the moment, which is Emperor the Death of Kings. Fortunately, I've got a little bit of water damage on the front cover, so it's a bit crinkled. And again, I paid $8.99 for this because I was in Waterstones, and you never get a deal with Waterstones, let's be honest. So I picked those two up, and then because I had an Amazon gift voucher, I used it to pick up the next three in the set. So after the Death of Kings, you have the Gods of War. Then it's followed by the Field of Swords, and then the final book is the Blood of Gods. So that's the final book there. So I've got all 5 sets. I paid $8.99 for this one. I paid $7.94 for this one, and I paid $7.24 for this one. So I paid sort of over £40 for all 5 of these books. And I've had a look on Amazon, and you can buy a set of all 5 of these for £17.79 at the moment. Which, because I'd bought this one, and then I found out that there were 2, because I didn't know it was a set. When he lent me this book, I had no idea it came in a set. So I'd already bought these 2, so then I only needed to buy these 3 to like match up the set. But actually I could have bought a whole nother box set and then donated these 2, and I would have saved money. So it's a bit annoying really, but I don't really care because these are brilliant. As I say, I've read this one. I'm halfway through this book and I'm loving them. Can't wait to finish them. I've just received a parcel from Amazon with some other books in, so I'm going to share those. Sticking with the Connor Gordon theme, I've picked up his set of the Wars of the Roses books. So this is all about England in the 15th century. It covers the English Civil War. I think that's the one that it's sort of focused on in this book, and the fight for the throne amongst the men at that time. And I am really looking forward to reading these. I don't need them yet because as I've said to you before, I'm only the 2nd book of the Emperor series in, so I didn't need to pick these up yet. But at the moment, Amazon had been doing a 3 for £10. So sort of at the end of December, it was 3 books for £10. So I picked these 3 up. And then because obviously there were 4, I picked up some other books while I was there. So let me just get these out of the way. I also picked up this book by Isabel Broom called The Place We Met. The cover sort of caught my eye, and then I read the blurb. Lake Como, Italy, New Year's Eve, the perfect place to fall in love or the perfect place for everything to fall apart. Obviously it's got some more information there if you want to pause it and have a read. But it just really interested me. I've not read any Isabel Broom books before, and as I say, this just caught my eye, so I picked that one up. And to round that up to 6, I picked up this Cecilia Ahern book called The Gift. I've read quite a few Cecilia Ahern books. I like her writing. Some people complain because it is easy reading sometimes. But I like that. Particularly where I'm reading the Caesar books at the moment, sometimes you want a slightly easier book afterwards, one that you can just enjoy and devour. And this one seems really lovely. It was sort of about Christmas, so I've bought it a bit late, but I'll still give it a read anyway, and that's the blurb if you want to have a read. And then I also picked up 3 other books, and that's because this is a book that's been on my reading list for a very long time, and while they were 3 for £10 I wanted to get them. And it's the Jojo Moyes ones, so Me Before You and then After You. Now I haven't watched the film or read either of these books, and I'm purposely not watching the film because I like to read the books first. So I picked those up, and then because it needed to be 3 for the £10 deal, I picked up this one, The Girl You Left Behind, because I've heard some really good things about that book. I'm just going to flip them over in case you want to have a little look at the blurbs. And as I say, I didn't realise Amazon were doing 3 for £10 until sort of quite late, so I don't know that the deal is still on. But those are the books that I've got. So as I say, if there are any books that you would like me to review or to give a little bit more detail about, then obviously please let me know. And I have got a nice long reading list for 2018 now. So that is my aim for this year, to read, read, read. Thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.